Let me start with some of the disadvantages to buying a home in Boise right now. Number one, prices could go down even further. Since the peak back in May of 2022, the median has come from $602,250 down to $535,000 just this past month, so September of 2023. And that works out to be an 11.17% decrease. Now that's significant, but it's nowhere near the price explosion that we've seen here in Ada County over the past several years. So back in September of 2020, the median price in Ada County was $409,945. That's 30% lower than where the price currently is. So there's still quite a ways to go to get back to that number. Right now though, prices are being propped up by low inventory. There could come a point in time though where lack of affordability beats out low inventory. So for example, if the interest rate tomorrow were to jump to 15%, there would be a ton of buyers who simply couldn't qualify to buy a home. And so buying would go way down. We would see a large increase in inventory on the market. And what do you think that would do to prices? It would make them go down. Now, I don't think the interest rate's gonna jump to 15% tomorrow, but if it does continue to inch itself upward, then we could see prices continue to decrease. The second disadvantage to buying a home in Boise today relates to the first one, and that is the interest rate. As I'm sure you probably know, mortgage rates are currently at 20-year highs. Just yesterday, the average interest rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage was 7.60%. And to flesh that out, to show you what your monthly payment would look like on a typical home purchase here in Boise, if you were to buy a house for $400,000, so that'd be a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot home, you put 20% down and you lock in at 7.6%, your monthly payment will be $2,326 just for principal and interest. If you factor in HOA, insurance, taxes, your monthly payment is gonna be around $2,700 per month. Now, just to qualify for that, you would need to make a minimum of $5,200 per month, which is $63,000 per year. But that would be with paying 50% of your income on your house. So if you wanted to get that number down to say 25%, which is somebody like what Dave Ramsey would recommend, you'd have to make around $120,000 per year. Now it's certainly possible because a lot of households have dual incomes, but the high interest rate has certainly made a lot of people think twice about whether or not they want to purchase a home at this time. Having said that, there could be some advantages to buying a home in Boise right now. But first, if you enjoy the hard work that I put into these videos, hit the like button. That helps this video to go out to more people like you, and it really helps me out as well. Thanks. Number one, if you buy a house in Boise right now, you'll have more choices than we have had over the past several years. There's more inventory on the market. Last month in Ada County, we ended the month with 2.46 months supply of inventory. And in Canyon County, that number was 2.24. Meaning that if they were to stop listing homes today, it would take 2.46 months to sell off all the inventory here in Ada County and 2.24 months to sell everything off in Canyon County. Now those still are pretty low numbers, especially considering the fact that a 6-month supply of inventory is considered to be a balanced market, but it's certainly higher than we have seen over the past several years. So a year and a half ago, for example, our month supply of inventory was something like 15 days. So what that means for you is that you'll have more choices. You can actually get the house that you want. Number two, you'll have more time to consider whether or not you really do want to buy this house. I mean, let's face it, buying a home can be stressful. Last month in Ada County, the average house sat on the market for 35 days before it sold. And in Canyon County, the average days on market was 33 days. So what that means is on average, you have anywhere between 3 to 4 weekends to come back to a house that you are interested. You have a little bit of time to mull over whether or not you actually want to buy this house. I'll just say though that I wouldn't bank on that. Time is of the essence in all real estate transactions. In fact, I have clients right now who basically bought a house out from the hands of other buyers. They were interested in a house. I called up the agent. He said, we actually have an offer in hand right now that we're going to respond to in a number of hours. So we went to see the house, Clients liked the house, and the agent said that he had gotten permission from the sellers to disclose the terms of the offer. So we ended up making an offer for $5,000 more, and they ended up getting the house. Number 3, more sellers are accepting a contingent offer, and that certainly wasn't the case 2 years ago. You'd have been laughed out of the competition if you submitted a contingent offer. Now, it's definitely more difficult to get a contingent offer accepted, but it's possible. You almost always have to have your house listed. If it was me, I would advise my seller client to make the buyer remove the contingency after 2 weeks or maybe a month. But it's certainly possible to get your contingent offer accepted, and that definitely makes it easier for you if you have to sell your house first there in order to buy here. 4, if you buy a house today, you have a much greater chance of getting concessions at closing. I was talking to a lender just yesterday who was telling me that almost all of the deals that he has done over the past few months have had some sort of a 2-1 or a 3-1 buy down. And what that is it's basically a concession. And these are usually in new construction. So the builder wanting to offload the inventory that he has will offer $10,000 at closing. So what a 2-1 buy down would do is they would use that money in order to reduce the buyer's payments for the first 2 years, go into a long-term escrow, and let's say $400 per month is drawn out of that escrow account every month for 2 years. And the advantage to that is if the buyer ends up refinancing before that 2-month period expires, the remaining amount that is left in that long-term escrow account is applied towards the loan. So the buyer gets to take the money with him. You can also get some concessions for existing homes. I had some clients recently who we asked for $5,000 out of the gate in our initial offer because of some flooring issues. And then in the inspection, we had some other items come up and we were able to get an additional $2,500 for those. The 5th possible advantage to buying a home in Boise right now is that at some point, home prices will go up. And I think it's important to remember that we still have too few of homes on the market right now. As I just said, 2.46 months supply of inventory. That's nowhere near a balanced market. So as the interest rate begins to taper down, I think a lot of the buyers who currently are sitting on the sidelines will jump back into the market, and that's going to cause prices to go back on the rise. Now, I will say that I don't think interest rates are going to drop significantly before the end of the year. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen and from what the Fed is signaling, it appears that the Fed is probably going to raise the interest rate one more time before the end of the year. So if looking into the first and second quarter of 2024, interest rates then start to come down, I think you'll see prices begin to go back up again. Now, obviously, I could be off on that. It's hard to foretell the short term, but what I am confident about long term is that real estate prices always go up over time. And that's because real estate is a limited commodity. There's never going to be more land in the future to build on than there is right now. There's less and less area to build houses on, and because everybody needs a house, whether you are renting or buying, homes are valuable commodities that are limited, and so house prices go up over time. Number 6, it could make more sense financially to purchase a home now than to rent for the next 3 years. And let's just consider one of many different scenarios that could play themselves out. Let's just say that given the high interest rate, your monthly payment would be $500 more per month if you were to purchase a home than it would be if you were to just rent. And let's just say that you are very disciplined and you write yourself a check for $500 per month in order to match the difference between renting and owning. At the end of 3 years, after writing a check every month, you would have $18,000 more than you would have had if you had purchased a home. Now that sounds good, but remember that if you had been paying down your loan for 3 years, on a 30-year amortization schedule, you would have paid off about $11,300 on your loan. So really the difference is only about $6,700 after 3 years. Now obviously a lot of things could happen, but I don't think the odds are really all that good if we're only talking about $6,700. There's a good chance that house prices could rise more than $6,700 in the next 3 years. And number 7, owning your own home provides a sense of stability and peace of mind that you don't have when you rent. And this is huge, and I don't think we talk about it enough. Owning your own home really does improve the quality of your life. When you own your own home, you can make it the way that you want it to be. You're more connected to the area. You have more interest in getting to know your neighbors, and you're just overall better off in life. Now that's provided that you don't own more home than you can afford. Too much house certainly can be a stress and a burden, but if you can afford to buy a house can be a blessing and a stability in life. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the Boise housing market or have any other real estate needs, please reach out to me. I'd love to help.